Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. This is Fred, the Submarine Guy, coming to you on behalf of submarineguy.com. Today, we're going to talk about 5 email marketing trends that you can't afford to ignore here in 2018. Now, I'll tell you a secret. I didn't write this article. It's written by Aweber, where I host my email list, but it's got some really good stuff in here. So I wanted to go through the 5 tips they give here, because I don't quite agree with a little one of them. I'm already implementing one, and I've got a problem with another one. So I wanted to kind of give you a couple of my thoughts here before you go read it. First of all, the reader says, hey, you know, the first email marketing prediction she's got is that email marketing will drive insane revenue in 2018. Last year, I think they predicted 124% median average return on investment, reported by the DMA, Direct Marketing Association. And he says that's a fraction, actually it's a her, I think, says that's a fraction of what you can earn from email this year. Second, the following 5 email trends will help the first prediction come true. So let's see what they are. So number 1, I've talked about this in another training, but segmenting your list can really give you some outstanding results. And what do I mean by segmenting? Well, in this article, they're talking about hyper-segmenting, and that's just a term that means a whole lot of segmenting or a lot of detail in the segmenting. But just think of it like this. The example I gave previously a couple of months ago in a training was that when I send an email, I can track how many people open it and how many people click on a link and things like that. So what I do is I look at the opens, and then I save the people that didn't open it in a segment. It's sort of like another list. It's really just a tag on the list that says, hey, these people didn't open this first email, and I can send the same email to those people who didn't open it. I call them my no opens. Now when I did that, let's say I got 100 opens on the first email, I routinely every time got another 50% opens by resending the same email. So in that case, if I got 100 opens the first time, I'd get another 50 on the resend. And those are 50 new readers, right? You don't keep the same ones that opened it in there. That's from the no opens. So just using that simple segmentation of open, no open on the first email, I can take and use the no open segment to send that same email with to get another 50% of readers. That's really powerful when you're marketing. That's a lot of extra readers that are getting eyes on your content. And that's just the simple part. The author goes in here to explain some really elaborate segmentation schemes. Here's a simple one. I think it's the Tasty Treats, and it says, hey, click here if you want gluten-free or recipes with gluten. Click here. So they're trying to segment their list between gluten-free advocates and people who don't care about gluten, right? And you can send targeted content to those 2 lists by using that segment. And you can do it in this case with a click on a graphic. Now, here's one. Let's see, there's the gluten one. Here's one here. Now, this is somebody's email that's into personality related segmentation. In other words, they used test to target or to figure out what type of personality you have, and it comes out in terms like INFJ, INTP, INTJ. And what they've done here in this section is they've got a hyperlink for each of those classifications to say, hey, by the way, can you tell me if you're one of these? And you're supposed to click on here. I assume they have some kind of follow-up page after that. But then the person that's clicking will have given you their personality classification numbers there, and you can target your follow-up emails based on their actual personality type. Really, really powerful. I mean, I can't even get my mind around. That's like 4, 8, 12, 16 classifications there, 16 different differentiations, and that would be hard for me. But that's the power of what you could do with it. So let's look at their number two recommendation here, and it's text-only emails. And this is the one I have a little trouble with. I believe in text-only emails to the point of being able to track your clicks. And here's what I mean. If you send, obviously this is not a text-only email. This is their first example of a graphic email. Here's a text-only email they give you from Ben Settle, and I'm on his list because he's a powerful email marketer. But see how he's got a hyperlink here? That means it's overall this email is an HTML email. The reason you want to send out your email from your Aweber or GetResponse or TrafficWave system, whatever you're using, is you want to use HTML so that the system, Aweber in my case, can track opens and clicks and things like that. That way you'll have the statistics that you can use to classify for segmentation or opens or whatever. If you only send text-only email, the system, Aweber in my case, won't know if the email's been opened or if a link inside it has been clicked, because it doesn't have any feedback mechanism via the HTML. So it's good to send pretty much text only, like Ben does here, but also you need to be able to hyperlink your links and have other HTML features that will enable the system to track what's going on with your readers, so that it'll give you that feedback. So I agree with the HTML only. I usually bold mine a little just to make it a little more readable. You know, I'm 64 years old. Our eyesight is probably not as good as everybody else's. So I tend to write for myself, I guess. But yeah, text only is pretty good. I don't believe in a lot of graphics or anything like that in emails. Every now and then, if it's appropriate, I might put one in. I usually put my picture in the email. But other than that, the graphics and stuff and videos certainly probably go more on your blog than they do in your emails. And you can drive people over to your blog from your email. So let's look at personalization. Of course, almost every email system now does personalization. That's where you mail merge the person's first name or any other content in there about the person. If you're not doing that, you might as well throw your email list away. You'll get much more readership, much more continuity in people reading through the email. See how Tom has integrated the person's name here in the second paragraph. Just powerfully important to do to get your readership up. Let's go on down here. Number 4. This is a hard one that I learned last year that I'm still trying to get my mind around, and that is to use a conversational voice. I kept hearing this, and it has a lot to do with your target market. If you know who your target market is to which you are selling, to whom you are selling, you'll be able to talk to that person in writing more like you would speak to them if you were face to face. And that's the real key in the conversational voice, is to write like you talk, not like you might write in Ms. Smith's 4th grade English class, for instance, right? Once you get in your mind that as you write an email or a blog post or whatever, that you're talking to a single person, I think that will help you get into the conversational voice better than anything. That's really what kind of opened my mind up to being able to write in a more personable manner than I used to do, for instance. So read the article on conversational voice. I think it's really worth your while. It's not hard to do. It's just something you need to kind of concentrate on and think about your perfect client. Storytelling is one that I don't know how many email marketer gurus you follow, but almost everyone that I follow emphasizes storytelling in as an email marketing success technique. And some of them go so far as to say it almost doesn't matter what your story is. People just like to hear stories. They like to relate to real life. They like to relate to things that happen to you that are just like things that happen to them, sort of thing. So I've tried to get a little more into storytelling. I'm more of a trainer kind of thing, but I'm trying more and more, and this is hopefully will improve in 2018. Storytelling is more of a thing that I need to get into, and I think if you read this article, you'll kind of see what he's talking about. But again, I follow a lot of email guru marketers who are highly successful, and to the person, they talk about and they use storytelling in their emails. And they don't always have to be long stories either. They can be short. They always have a call to action at the end for the reader to go do something, read, take an action, sign up for a webinar, whatever it is, kind of thing, right? So I was right. This was a female writer, Liz Willits, at AWeber. AWeber's got a ton of these articles on the blog. I'll leave a link to the blog below this video, and if I turn it into a blog post in the blog as well, so you can go read the article, because I think it's important for you to think about these things and think about how you can implement them in your email marketing. Anyway, that's all I've got for today, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you would give me a like on the video and a thumbs up, I would appreciate it, and make sure you're subscribed to my email marketing channel.